As always, if you have been enjoying the series, drop a like. That would be super duper lovely, scrumptious, and other such things that sound like they're from Mary Poppins. It's a transfer special, and we've got to somehow build a team for a season in the top flight of Sweden. This will be our first attempt at top flight management in this save. Kalle Forsberg, massive step up for him, and I don't know if this club is ready. The financial situation certainly ain't good by any means, but at least the board have given us some cash to try to work with, and it's actually more than I thought if you move a little bit of it into transfer funds. So I've got some plans, and well, I think we might as well just jump into those. So one of the first things I'm looking at here is just our squad depth chart, just to see where we want to be improving over this period. Now, I already had some ideas in the bank to go with it because there's some players leaving, some players that we know will be returning, and so on and so forth. So we can really try to work out where we want to target signings over this period. Now, we've got a long time as well. The season doesn't start till April, and we're not even in the Swedish Cup because we got knocked out early as a result of focusing on the league, meaning that we've got a huge amount of pre-season to get through, and really hopefully can come in with the freshest ideas and get the new players bedded in really nicely. So I want to get them signing early, in theory. Kvistgaard will be back next season. He may have underperformed his finishing a little bit. He should have had more like 9 goals this year. He got 7, which is not fantastic. I would like to see a bit more out of him, but he does only have 6 finishing, so you can sort of see why he might be underperforming that. However, he has been absolutely invaluable as an assister. 11 assists from striker. That's all open play assists that he's managed to achieve. So 18 goal contributions for him this year is fan-dabby-dozy. Like, genuinely fantastic from Kvistgaard, and I'm really happy to have him back next year. Panache, Sirius want to play him next year. Now, the situation is, I want Panache next season. I know he had his little slump this year, but the fact is, the guy has good consistency, likes big matches, and he's just an excellent player, and I just don't see us being able to sign a better player in this particular window than him. So the first port of call is to try to get Panache back on loan for next season, so we're just paying his wage. Failing that, I've talked to his agent, and he reckons that they'll want between 11 and 100,000 pounds for the signing. So that does make me think that if we could get Panache for something like 50,000 pounds, I would be willing to pay that to bring him to the club to continue our strike force, because at least we found a striker that we know can score. Attacking mid is an area of concern for me. We've got youngster Ingebrigtsen in there. That is definitely a factor, but he has not performed well. Now we're losing Blair Turgett because he refuses to sign a new contract. Kendall is not in that role at all, and Farnberger is of course leaving at the end of the window as well. So I want to try and find a couple of Swedes that are homegrown to really make sure that we can pack that out. Once we've got that taken care of, then we can go mad and try and find some real talent, because there is some great players out there that I've had to turn down because I couldn't fit them into our team. Kendall, I really like him as that box-to-box role. Happy with him. Now ideally, I would like to play Angeleri alongside him this season. Angeleri's best role is as a box-to-box midfielder, sorry, a ball-winning midfielder in the midfield, not a centre-back where he's played this season. He doesn't have the height, but he had the ball-playing ability to play on that wing. But this will only be working if I can find enough centre-backs to go alongside Björklund. Now, Björklund obviously is a nailed-on starter in that role. He's 4.5 stars in this team now, I assume as a result of his ridiculous run towards the end of the season. You can very much see that that is an area that is going to need some strengthening. So I want to see 2 starting centre-backs join us this window, and a third probably as a backup as well. It's the defence that really needs that extra strength for me. And hopefully with the money we've got, which, just for those who missed the last episode, it's £18,000 a week in wage budget, which that's 15k in wage budget. And now that would give us 135,000, in fact, even if I move it a little bit more, £12,000 in wage budget would still allow us a transfer budget of nearly 300 grand, which for me is more than enough to bring in someone like Panache and get I don't know, that to me says 6 or 7 signings. Definitely possible. Exciting times, my friends. So, without any further ado, we might as well get cracking. First port of call, though, is Panache. Now, I've tried this several times. I've changed my mind. Well, okay then. Every single time throughout the end of last season when I've gone in to ask Sirius if we can have Panache back for another season, they've always said no, they want to give him a chance in their first team. But apparently not. Apparently now they've decided that that's fine, that not only can we have him, but we can have him for less money than we're paying this season. Like, let's be clear, finances not good. 2.6 million in the red. But needs must. We haven't got a scouting budget yet either, so we can't set that up just yet. I am curious to know what the board's expectations are for this season. I'm hoping it's a fight bravely against relegation jobby. Okay, expectation meeting. What are we saying? Yes, there we go. Financial. Fight bravely against relegation. Defensively solid, counter-attacking football. Squad dynamics is good. Right, end of season meeting. What are we saying? So, fight bravely against relegation. The only thing I can see is this one. Okay, yes, that's good. Very, very vague statements, but that should be the one that hopefully gets us what we want here. God, look at this. Me doing well in team meetings. Yes, there it is. Panache Mutimbanyoka, or Panache Mutimbanyoka, extends his loan with Degerford. That's very, very good. Oh, Now then. There's a few Swedish lads in here, which is what's intriguing me the most. Emil Engqvist as well. In case you wonder, it didn't go well for Värnamo. 4-0 on aggregate to Elfsborg. 2-0 in both legs. Okay, so we've extended the loan of Osman Altin as well, because he did okay towards the end of last season. He's a solid-ish centre-back. Because I just wanted to make sure we had cover, because they can always recall him if they really want to, if he doesn't play and we find people that are better. Hopefully we will do. Hilariously, with a load of people leaving, we've actually wangled ourselves into even more transfer funds at the moment, which is very useful. There's a lot of contracts that we just didn't need, like lots of £300-400 a week contracts for players that were never going to play football for us. Plus we've got Farnberger leaving as well. There's a few more leaving as well at the end of the season, and that will save us another 1,500 quid in wages. That's like another signing. Kalle Björklund wants a new contract. Let's see. We'll ask Farnberger to talk to him, a man who's literally leaving the club. Didn't work, would you believe? Come on, Kalle, be sensible here, bud. All right. You know what? Fine. If someone deserves one, it's probably Kalle Björklund. Let's just do it. He's on £450 a week, to be fair, so I think he does deserve a step up to, like, maybe 700-800. Let's see. Star player. Well, no, we want important player. Okay. Are you serious, Kalle? You want to... Firstly, you want me to make you the highest paid player at the club, which admittedly, you are the best player at the club. But you also want a release clause of 86 grand. No, you cannot have that. I'll give him 2. I mean, it's still a lot of money, but I feel like if it's one player that we need to tie down, it's Kalle Björklund. I got rid of the release clause. We got a relegation release clause, but... Oh, god damn it. Don't you hate it when players know their value? So we just found this guy, Nikolai Lingar. He's 6'6" and has 19 jumping reach. Now, obviously, that's not the only thing that matters to me, but he actually has okay defense. He's quite a good player, is my point. He likes big matches. He has good consistency as well. He is 28-year-old and Danish, so that is a problem. He plays for Kalmar. Bugger me, he'd be available for like 30k, and I do wonder if it's worth just plunging in on someone like this kind of early, just so that we can have an absolute tower at the back, someone like Lingar. And he's got 12 passing and 12 vision as well, which is very intriguing to me. I still think getting him for 50k up front is probably a good piece of business for us, because he is just quite good, and I really do want at least one guy who's an absolute monster in the air at the back. And he actually is. It's not just that he's tall, he's got the 19 jumping reach to go with it, and he'll be an absolute bastard for other teams to defend against going forward in set pieces. And I think it's situations like that I think we could really make use of in the Allsvenskan next year, and I think it could be enough to win us a couple of games potentially. So I would like this done ideally. 1.8k a week for Nikolai Lingar. I mean, I know that the estimated wage is way lower than that, but again, estimated cost, estimated wage, it was a brand new scout report, so that just seems like bollocks to me. Needless to say, I actually still really want him, because I think him and Kalle Björklund at the back, now we need to find someone who's a bit pacey to go alongside them, I'd say. I'm sorry, you know how easy it is for me when I see a 6'6" centre-back with 19 jumping reach and reasonable defensive attributes. At that point, I'm just like, this guy's an absolute weapon. Oh, it's happening, friends. It is happening. Finally, a scouting budget. Lovely. It's only going to really help us get Sweden, but at least this will hopefully help us track down some Swedish players, thank Christ. We start off against, well, the team that survived by the skin of their teeth last season, Elfsborg. Now for me, it's just about trying to find some... Hello, Belmin Jaranjaric. Hello, sir. You'd probably want a lot of money, wouldn't you? But bloody hell, Austrian goalkeeper of this kind of quality. Whew, sheesh. He's quite decent. No way he'd join us, right? I know, again, this goes against my whole signing Swedish players thing, but sometimes, hang on. Reflexes are very good. Aerial reach is good as well. Like, I know that he's not the tallest, but his aerial reach is good. Whew, okay. Right, really do need to focus on finding some Swedish talent now, Matt. Although, oh, this guy's good. Mateus Nielsen. Is he, though? Great tackling. Oh, no, he's not, Matt. His asking price is 500k. What are you on about? This guy, free transfer. That I can understand. Transfer story leaked. That's concerning. That is concerning a lot. I get the feeling he'd probably rather join Esbjerg than us. But if you don't, you know, you got to shoot your shot. Imagine if we get him. Yeah, we did not get him. And I don't really blame him, honestly. I do not blame him one bit. As a reward for us going up, they've decided not to give us more scouts, more coaches. No, but we have got 2 more performance analysts. You know, the most important of roles. So as it turns out, Nicholas Kvistgaard's contract is expiring soon. And I kind of want to just take him, to be honest. But I somehow don't get the feeling we're going to be able to do that. Yeah, no, we can't do that because he wants 3k a week. I'm honestly not sure it is. I know he's free, but it's £2,500 a week in wages to start off with. Although, interestingly, BK Häcken, Kalmar, and Örgryte, of all people, have put bids in for Kvistgaard literally the moment I did that. I've put our name in the hat. I didn't realize he'd be so... I was thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, but we've seen what he can do for us. Intrigues me that top flight sides are interesting. I'm hoping that we might have the advantage given that he likes being here, and that's quite a good contract. So there's Nigel Lundvik, who is a centre-back. No consistency or injury prone issues, good marking, tackling and positioning, they're okay. His mentals aren't fantastic for a centre back. The aggression and bravery a little bit low. Great acceleration though. And I do wonder, would prefer not to play for Crew. Well, cheers, Nigel. Looks like you're not going to, are you? Would he be interested is my question. Who else is he wanted by? Again, top flight sides. BK Häcken, Sundsvall have come up with us, and Varbergs. I think he might be too expensive for us anyway. Oh, he's actually not. God damn it. But imagine that back three. That to me would be quite a formidable trio of players to have back there with Altin sat behind them as well. I really would have to make the rest of this transfer window all about Swedish signings though, I tell you. Oh, he's got national team cap, so there's nothing we can do with wages on that. 1.7k, no release clause other than the relegation one, which unfortunately a lot of them are desperate for, which makes sense. Just going down trying to find any players who don't currently have clubs as well. Okay, so I've found a few guys that are unattached, homegrown Swedish players that look relatively decent. Players that we've already scouted at least once, apparently. Well, I'll be damned. Niklas Kvistgaard as a joy. I figured that would happen since he was here. But if we had him for the full season, I would have been fine with probably just keeping the loan. But the fact is he would have buggered off midway through the season. And I think at the very least, this time we get him permanently at that point, and we know that we've got him there. And there's clearly a player under here. We've seen a lot out of him so far. It's just that the wages were a bit much for me. I don't know. It might be a risk. Well, it is a risk. But at least now we've got Nicky Kvist as well. Oh, and in that same breath, Nigel Lundvik also agrees to join us as well. Oh, this is going to be a busy January period. We'll have an idea of what our backline's going to look like once these guys bed in and we see what they're like. And then we can kind of plan other moves. Okay, so two of the new boys are in. Nikolai Lingar is... What? I do believe we've been sold a dud. Thank you for that one, Scouts. That's brilliant. Now, hopefully that can be changed with playing well. Are you joking? Please tell me Nigel's at least good. Okay. Oh, Nigel's good, though. Nigel's brilliant. So I suspect that Nigel would be the one that plays in the center because he's got that acceleration and pace to play on the cover. And then we'll have Björklund and Lingar either side of him. That's still a very formidable back three, I must admit. But I'm disappointed in Lingar a little bit, given that we paid for him as well. There's this guy, Alexander Damjanovic Nilsson. I might scout him further. He's listed for loan, but he's also listed for transfer. But well, I'm trying to build a shed, and I'm looking for some cement, and my scouts keep coming along going, hey, look, here's some caviar. I'm like, that's great and all, except it's not, but worth some money, I suppose. Just not what I need right now, mate. Can't make a shed out of caviar, is what I'm saying. I'm going to ask the board if I can have a coaching course, because surely with us getting promoted, they'll be like, yeah, he probably deserves that. Also, did we gain rep from the promotion? Oh, hot diggity dog. Yes, we did. Not only did we gain rep, we gained 10% reputation. That's going to mean a lot for the job after this, believe me. Getting a 10% bump. We were able to nearly get a top flight job with the previous rep. I think we could walk into a lot of jobs with this now, particularly if we can get a coaching badge, which we can't. It's like, how much does it really cost, Joachim? What's the betting that if I do this, they'll let me send all of my staff on coaching? What the hell was that? We were just sucked into the abyss for a second there. I don't know if they're actually doing coaching courses or not, but it does certainly look like it. But I'm not allowed one. Oh no, don't be silly. You're not a manager to be any good. To their credit, they're equally stupid on this side of things as well. To be fair, that's still dumb. You just let me buy a guy for £70,000. Okay, here we go. Jesus Christ. Oh, this is brilliant. I want your... Look at these players they're finding. I'm not doing this. I am not requesting these players. They are finding some absolute gems for really cheap prices as well, from all across Europe and the entire world, from everywhere except fucking Sweden. I found a man, Abdul Halik Hudu. He came through in a Ghanaian side, but he is trained in Sweden. He's wanted by a Norwegian side and I believe they're not Nigerian, Ghanaian team. Right, okay. Abdul, would you like a trial, sir? Part of me's tempted to just jump on him now. No offense, Abdul. Stop. Oh, God, I worry now. We finally find a player who can play in Sweden and he wants stupid money. Abdul, I can't offer you that amount of money. Most I can give you is literally nowhere near that. Aha. A man who is Swedish, except he's very expensive. And I don't think he'd actually be worth the money. I'll pay his wages, obviously. I'm not a madman. Okay, well, you're going to want to reconsider that in a sec, I suspect. They've rejected it. Aha. All right, what about this? Optional future fee of the amount that you want. Therefore, you want 300 grand. That's fine. How about that? No. Okay, well then we're going to keep putting this to you until you say yes. Hey, well look, we're doing a recruitment meeting. I can't wait to see where these players are going to be from. Oh, look, it's a scouting meeting. After the recruitment meeting and after I've specifically set them to look for players who are based in Sweden. Oh, good. Brilliant. Do you know, boss, we've been having a little look around the club and we've scouted this guy. Oh, really? Where's he from? Oh, he's playing for us already! Wow, however did you uncover that one, chaps? It's pretty funny, to be fair. Ah, dear. Right, all you lot, piss off. All of you, good God. But on the plus side, it does tell me that Enquiries might be a signing that we should probably go after. Now that I'm looking at him, I think we should probably sign him. Please be signable, Enmore. Please be signable. Squad player. You beauty. So Gustav Granath, I just don't think... I mean, he could be a backup right back or right wing back. But his tackling and he's not... I mean, it depends how much he wants, really. If he's cheap, then maybe. Impact sub, not playing him as a centre-back. £500 a week, fine. But Gustav Granath does. Lovely stuff. He's far from excellent, but he is a homegrown player, and he could technically cover centre-back for us if we needed him to. I wouldn't, but he could. And he can cover right wing-back for us, again, if we needed him to. It just means that he can sit on the bench, take up one of our homegrown player slots, but also be a player I would actually be willing to put on the pitch. Are they just playing FM in my save? It feels like they're playing FM within my FM save. And I rate that. Look, it's a guy called Jimmy Son, and he's from Tanzania. Normally, in any other situation, I'd be loving this. All right, 15k. I don't think he'd expect to start. But again, he's another of those sort of players that I wouldn't want to put him in our starting 11, but I'd be happy to have him on the bench. And that's actually quite important. Just being able to pack out our bench with some actual players I'd be willing to put in the team, I think is key. Sorry. Just to clarify. Okay, Enquiries is coming in. He's not brilliant by any means, but he does at least give us bodies. Okay, so we're going to get Alexander Damjanovic Nilsson as well. Good. Stuff is happening. He's, again, fine. They're certainly not star players, let's put it that way. Okay, finally, it's starting to trickle through a little bit now, I think. And there was also Svanberg, another guy we were looking at, who is Swedish and could possibly be available, not on the cheap, but not on the overly the top expensive either. I realize that most of this is agent offers, actually. So that's probably part of the reason. But bloody hell, agents. Seriously, if you're looking for players, agents are great at this sort of level. The unfortunate thing is that when we were promoted, I tried to get some more scouts and they wouldn't let me. So we still only have 2. But they did give me 2 performance analysts, 2 extra performance analysts that I didn't need. So that's good. So that's, I think, part of the reason as well. We just don't have enough scouts to actually work through this information. Though we have just brought in this guy, Donazite. God damn, he's Brazilian. But sometimes, man, sometimes. Kenny Pavey has just joined us as an under-19 assistant manager. I call legend Kenny Pavey. I didn't sign him up. That's amazing. This is a weird one. Those of you that may have listened to the Football Ramble podcast back in the day will all know about Kenny Pavey. That's funny. Okay, so Abdul's left. I wonder if we can soften him up a bit. I've had this work in the past. So he still wants the star player spiel. It's come down a bit. Most I can offer is that, of course, but I can still adjust this. So usually what you do then, and I've seen this work in the past, little trick for you. You go for a second trial. He's still not under a bid from anybody, which is good. I think we can get him down to a reasonable wage just by having him on trial a couple of times. It's the second one that seems to do the trick. Just noticed that Donazite has 16 to 18 free kicks. That is interesting. But if we could get someone like Donazite and Abdul for the central midfield, that might be enough. Failing that, we could somehow move the money around and go after the guy from Bromma Poikina one more time. I think if we could get 3 of those 4, I would be happy. It's aggression and bravery do worry me, but he's got good jumping reach. That's about it, to be honest. I think I'm going to go and get Ludwig Svanberg. Okay, so they want 54 grand. I reckon I can do half that. 28k. It's not awful. Would depend heavily on his wages, though. Okay, his regular starter is actually okay. Boom. Svanberg coming in for 30 grand on £500 a week. I think it's fine. Ironically, he's worked out looking better than the other guy. Standard, innit? But good. Good. I'll take that. There's this guy, Malte Paulsen, who's listed for 4k. Backup keeper, anybody? 1.2k. I think I'll do that. Key thing for me with him is that he's going to be the backup, but he knows he's going to be the backup, and he's homegrown. He's in as well. Watch him be dreadful. Yep, not great, but nevertheless, he's a backup goalkeeper that is at least Swedish. Still looking quite good. I think it just depends on how much he wants. Important player. Regular starter. Oh, hello. Still think he wants more than we're allowed to offer, really. And just go on an absolute whim and say a £0 into relegation release clause to try and get him down to like 1.4k? 1.4k for a Brazilian attacking midfielder who's actually quite good. Could take a hell of a free kick as well. Regular starter as well. So we would be able to rotate in and out. But he is now wanted by people, which concerns me because now he's going to ask for more money, I suspect. See what Abdul's thinking now. What are we saying, Abdul? You feeling like, important player. There we go. Told you. It's just, for some reason, players and their agents make weird decisions when you've got them on trial and when you don't. They will randomly ask for enormous amounts of money and tiny amounts of money at seemingly random intervals. If we can wrap up Abdul Halik Hudu, I'd be happy. I'd be very happy, actually. I like him a lot. This is so good. The board just provided a cash injection of £675,000 the next day. The board is delighted that you've achieved the objective to repair the club's financial damage. That is full-on Obama putting the medal on himself, isn't it? Donazite is coming in. Oh, boom. I think he's all right, to be honest. There it is. Abdul Halik Hudu joining us. Oh, lovely stuff. That feels like a good piece of business on a free transfer. And now all of a sudden, David Torstenson has become available at Skövde. And I do wonder if we could swoop in on this 22-year-old youngster as well. Why not at this point? I don't see any reason why not. If we could pick him up for less than 10k, £7,000 for David Torstenson, I think I'll do it. I've gone mad with power. £400 a week? Yes, please. Torstenson's in as well. For 7 grand, I think he's okay. Okay. Finally, the day is here. Our first match back in the top flight. I actually think, transfers-wise, we've done all right. We were still working with a huge amount of money, but we had more than I was expecting. And I think we've been able to leverage it quite well. I would have still liked a couple more. And now, there's still 2 days left in the window. So if after this I'm like, actually, we've got room for one more guy, I might be able to spend a bit of cash in that 2 days. Maybe even just bring in a couple of free transfers. If I realise that we've actually got a bit more room for a couple of non-Swedish homegrown players, then I might be able to find a couple more. Trust me, there'll be an agent that will shove about 7 down my throat the moment I leave this screen anyway. Was he playing as a... Wow. He played as a... Sorry, I didn't realise that. That was a friendly match. Apparently, they put him up front. I think he scored like a hat-trick, though. So, hey, you never know. Right, let's get this sorted properly. So, Kvistgård, Mutin in there nicely. Kendall and Hudu, Bengtsson, Lindell. So, that's 4 starters in... 4 in the starting 11. Fine, because obviously my assistant's doing it. But look, Granath, happy to bring him on. Torsten, Lingar, you will start. Altin, Svanberg, Enquist, Kamala, our youngster from the youth intake. It's a bench that's actually players I want to bring into matches, and that makes me very, very happy indeed. But I will be starting Jeffrey Gal. We don't actually need Paulson on the bench, but I probably will just in case, because it will allow us a bit more movement to allow us to bring the likes of Angeleri maybe onto the bench. Oh, there's also Donazite. No, I can bring him in. I don't need that now that we've got Paulson on the bench. We can bring in Donazite. Oh, this is a good-looking team now. This is exciting. Our first game back up in the top flight. I think it's been a few years since Degerfors were in the top flight, and this is a very different... I say very different team. Actually, the team itself isn't hugely different to last season when you're looking at new faces. So the top 2's the same. Kendall's there. Bengtsson, Lindell, Björklund, Jeffrey Gal. It's the other, that backline I think has really strengthened. But this is a big game. Elfsborg were nearly relegated last season and narrowly avoided it through the playoffs. So we've got a big task ahead of us. And these are the types of games that if we were to take points from, it could be crucial come the end of the season. Maybe Panache and Kvistgård could take to the top flight like ducks to water. Who knows? We'll find out today. I still think we might be able to surprise a few people this season. I think with the added height at the back line is going to make a big difference because of the way we play anyway. But I think it's also going to make us better from defending set pieces and, more importantly, able to score a few extra ones perhaps this season. And we're really going to need that. Kvistgård, he's got Panache. Panache is already through and Panache has hammered it in off the crossbar. After 8 minutes, Degerfors lead away at Elfsborg. And that right there is such a archetypal Degerfors goal from last season. Give ball to Kvistgård. Kvistgård picks out Panache, and it's so simple. This is such a good pass, though. The vision to just drop this across the box. First time on the half volley from Panache, in off the crossbar, and we already lead Panache with this first goal in the top flight. Come on. We're just doing a nice job at standing things up at the moment. Beckstrom's probably just going to hit. Whoa, good save from Crazy Jeff. Björklund with not a lot of options on, but he's found Kvistgård, who's dropped super deep again. Allows the Lindell overlap, and here comes Panache again. Oh, he's at the crossbar. Thigh injury. It's the first game of the season, bud. Okay, well, Angeleri will come in there. Thank God. This is what I mean about having a bench. Clips it out for Bengtsson. Second goal before half-time would be something. It's Panache. It's a tough one to turn, maybe. Finds Donazite! And the Brazilian gets his first shot on target for us, but it's nothing better than that. Can he get this on Panache's head, maybe? Donazite! What a save! Come on, friend. Second goal. Super important. Kendall to Panache. Might just go alone here. Doesn't. And it doesn't matter because it's Donazite, and he's been brilliant today. 2-0 to Degerfors, and I'm very glad we took the plunge to pick up the Brazilian. We're 2 goals up away from home in our first game. I know it's one of the easier teams we could have faced, but this is a statement. Coming into the top flight and beating them 2-0 away. Panache with the assist, and it's a lovely little finish from Donazite. Big stuff from him this season, I expect. I'd say the biggest issue we've got as far as gaps go will be to if we got an injury to Kvistgård or Panache, that would be a worry. And I might try and find a striker in the final 2 days of the window just so that we've got a third option because we really are very light in that area of the pitch at the moment were we to get injuries to those two. This has been a brilliant opening day performance. Defensively solid, creatively excellent. Donazite's bombing it behind again. Can the Brazilian grab another one? No, he can't, but Kvistgård is not done yet. And it's a brilliant tackle on him from Beckstrom. And I think that's going to do it. Elfsborg 0, Degerfors 2, away from home, opening day in the top flight. Absolutely flawless from the guys. A clean sheet. They didn't look troubled defensively at all. Like, at any point in this match, we've not looked troubled. And there we go, 2-0 to us. A win on the opening day. Brilliant performance from the guys. Thoroughly deserved. They switched to a back 4 at the end, but it didn't make any difference. That is perfect. I'm excited about this season now. We look excellent. It could obviously still go horribly wrong, but just starting off with a victory is such a big deal. And away from home against a team that I expect will potentially be down there is a massive deal for us this season. Torn hamstring 3 months. Oh, good. Oh, good. So happy to get him over the line, and he tears his hamstring like, what, 30 minutes into the first game of the season? Nevertheless, next episode, we're going to be jumping in with a big chunk of league fixtures, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my teeth sunk into the Allsvenskan. There's no easy games here for us, really. I'm expecting a very tough time indeed, and I cannot wait to get stuck in. So if you have enjoyed this, I hope that hasn't been too long. Drop a like, that would be lovely. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, that'd be gorgeous too. Stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, but not this Saturday, because I'm actually having a weekend off. Imagine that. And I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.